Old and Achy here with another Halo 4 campaign mission walkthrough. And today I'm going to show you how to get the first of the 2 weekly campaign challenges for the week of January 22nd through February 3rd, which is Prediction Pain, which requires you to complete any mission on heroic or higher difficulty with the Famine, Tough Luck, and Thunderstorm Skulls activated. And there's those 3. In addition to that, I activated Tilt for some vehicle shielding and Catch to get Prometheans throwing grenades at me if I need them to do so. And I chose Forerunner for this mission because I actually hadn't done it in a while. There's a number of missions you can run this challenge on, but today I'm showing you how to do it on Forerunner. And as we start off here, this is one of the few missions that doesn't have a starting cutscene of 30 seconds or so, but we grab that auto sentry and we go off and running. Now, one thing to note here, if you complete this mission with these skulls activated, you'll actually get the second challenge as well, which is Famine or Feast, which requires any mission heroic or higher difficulty with just the Famine skull on. Now, I did a separate walkthrough for that, but I just wanted to point that out for you. Okay, skip the cutscene and turn left and through the portal.
This is the first.
Now we can really start the fun.
Negative. This is as close as I could get us. Hope you don't mind hoofing it a little.
Okay, just kind of considering my sprint right about here. And I'm going to throw up an auto sentry and then take off along this path here to the right. Try to get past these crawlers. Now sometimes they'll focus on that auto sentry, but this time they decide to focus on me. My shields are weak. I'm going nuts. So I make a little left turn here and diagonally and take a shortcut across the bridge so I don't die. That was pretty close. Alright. This guy is a force. If you're doing this solo, you're going to see that every time with this particular knight. But now we're off and running again, and we're first going to be faced by 6 crawlers, a knight, and a watcher. What we want to do is take out the 6 crawlers first. Once we do that, the knight will advance on us, which is really what we want, and the watcher will stay behind, which is also what we want. Okay, so a number of different ways to take out the crawlers. You can actually come over here to this left post, and they will eventually come up on you. That's what the Tough Luck Skull does for you. They will not hang back. Tough Luck basically means that the enemies will never retreat. Okay, now once you get all 6 down, like I said before, the knight will advance on you. Here he comes. He's teleporting out, so I'm going to haul it back over here. Hide behind this rock here, and the idea is to get him in patrol mode. Once he turns around and starts walking away, run up and backsmack. Fairly easy. That avoids having to do a circle melee. Now sometimes this patrol behavior is different, but that time it was pretty easy for me. Grab his light rifle, take out the watcher. Okay, so we're finished with this area and on to the next, as they say on Ghost Hunters. Alright, through this corridor here,
Promethian Knights.
and that was suppressor ammo I was getting. I really don't use the suppressor, but alright, when we come out this door, notice I wasn't sprinting before. When we come out this door, go to sprint. We're just going to run by all of these knights. And there'll be several crawlers coming out from that left area there. I fired once just to distract them. And just keep running along this area here. This ammo crate, ammo up. Throw up an auto sentry. Step back momentarily. I was just double checking my shields there. And then run down through here. Through this area here. If you'd have kept going down to the left, you would have come on to a terminal. I don't know, I'm assuming by now everybody knows where the terminals are. Okay, and in here, and again, I'm saving sprint. We're coming up on the first pylon. Alright, when the door opens, we come out here, again, saving sprint. Jump down to this rock right here, and then take off and sprint, and the crawler should run right by you. They tend to be territorial. In other words, the crawlers that just ran by me will not chase me.
That's the target, but it looks
There's
like
a rare exception to the rule, but from that below path, there are three crawlers coming up. Sometimes you have to take out that third crawler, but this time I just ran right by him. Gonna melee the power source, take it out, very simple. There's that third crawler. I'm checking my motion sensor here. There's probably a Watcher and a Knight right above me, so I'm just going to go ahead and take off out in this direction. Around to, not this rock, but the next rock up. And we want to take out a couple of crawlers that are here. Now what I didn't realize was that the Watcher and the Knight stayed up on top of that structure, and they're firing at me from behind. That's what all that was about. What I'm going to do here is hide for a second, get my shields back. There we go. Fire a couple times at the Watcher. That'll get him off the top of that structure. And now, look across here. Here's the second power source. 3 altogether we have to take out. Once we've got the second one, okay, let's run into here on our way up to the pylon. And what we've done by using this tactic is we bypass having to deal with a heck of a lot more Prometheans, including several nasty Knights and Watchers. Alright, here I'm going to throw a grenade down into the opening of that little building. That's the third power source. That's all of them.
Great, that's all the cores. Head for the top of the pylon.
Or power core, if you will. And now we're off to the top to get to the first pylon. That's actually pretty easy. Got through that in about 6 minutes and change. Okay. Activate the really slow Forerunner elevator. And up we go to the pylon.
The beacon was pulled into Requiem with us. If they try to follow it,
they'll get caught in the gravity well.
Yada yada yada. Boy, that takes forever.
If
you're a speedrunner, it drives you nuts when you have to take these slow Forerunner elevators. Okay. Let's go ahead and activate the pylon. Or deactivate, if you will. Deactivate the jammer here.
It's working. The signal from the relay is starting to clear up.
Now we can hear them, but they can't hear us, so we're off to the second pylon.
We've got to disable that other beam before they're pulled in like we were.
And of course you know that that's not going to happen. I mean, if we got to everything in time, then we wouldn't have anything left to do in the campaign. Alright, if you hadn't ammoed up there on that pylon, there was another ammo crate there, by the way. Okay, on to the second pylon. We're going to do some neat stuff here to bypass another major firefight. Again, I don't consider this a skip, I consider this a tactic. Alright, run up to this little rock right here and wait. I want to make sure that the Promethian Knights across the way aren't paying attention to us. Jump up here, sprint jump across to here. Up here, sprint jump across here. The next rock, whoa, almost didn't make it. Sprint jump across to here, that's the 3 rock skip. Run up here, spin around, assassinate, we're back smack the Knight. Okay, and take off running again past the Watchers. Especially before they spawn those turrets. Alright, got another Knight up here. Now we don't have to do this, but this is pretty easy backsmack. Alright, he's just kind of standing there. Alright, into the Ghost, and got a couple of grunts right in front of us. One of us is paying attention to us. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking the grunts out so I can clear a path. That way I don't have to run over them to get to where I'm going. But now that I've cleared the path, we just head for this cave. I'll go ahead and splatter that elite there. Sometimes you can get through without a splatter, sometimes you have to splatter. Okay, we're bringing the Ghost up here. And boost. Oh! I was throwing a grenade when I splattered him. Okay. Now, when the doors open up here, when we get up here, we want to haul it to a Banshee, and by boosting the Ghost, the elite will jump out of the way. Jump out of the Ghost, grab the Banshee, and hurry, hurry, because that elite's coming after you. Alright, now we're taking the Banshee up to this ring here, about 2/3 of the way up the pylon. So go as far as we can go, make a right and down. And this is the second pylon skip. It really skips a major battle here. There's a lot of Covenant around this pylon. Okay, come down, and now we're going back up. And because of tilt, we got plenty of shielding on this Banshee. So I'm not too much worried about the fire coming from that other Banshee. Besides, on heroic difficulty, it's not that great a shot anyway. Okay, up through the layer there, up and over, back down. And let's keep ourselves within this circle here, or this oblong area. Notice the screen's freezing here. It's setting up the next load scene. We're loading the next scenery and such. Jump out of the Banshee, walk down here to activate or get the activate switch on the pylon. Or the beam, whatever. Now notice the beam is not sending a beam. That's because of the skip that we just did. But we still have to do the pull it out and push it back in routine. Okay. Now notice I kind of wait here for a second for the that apparatus to drop down on the floor to cover it, because I don't want to fall down in the cracks, if you will. Something that you have to worry about on the first pylon as well. Okay, here we go. Off and running. Alright, through the portal. When we come out, there will be a Phantom dropping off, a Jackal Sniper, and actually four grunts. Sometimes I can get that Sniper before he jumps off, but I want to get him first and take out the 4 grunts. When we get all 4, then we'll see 2 activate switches light up. The one on the left opens a door that takes us to a battle that Prometheans are winning, and the one on the right takes us to a battle that the Covenant are winning, and I happen to like the one on the left because all I do here is mostly a lot of running. Just rushing past all the enemies. Like so. Pick a path, and go. Jump through here. Gotta be a little careful of that elite, but I got by him. Through the doorway here. Catch my breath. Make sure that door closes behind me before I come back over. Alright, shields are back. I'm loaded up with ammo. This nice little Forerunner elevator up here. And here comes the second set of enemies I gotta rush by. But first I'm gonna take out the 2 Watchers that are out there. With the Watchers gone, it's a little bit easier to make this second rush. Whoops. Now if we were running with Mythic and Tilt on, I wouldn't be doing this because the Watchers are extremely difficult to take out. I just try to rush them. See if I can take that Knight out. Looks like I can't. His shielding's pretty good, but let's take that Watcher out. Alright, here we go. Just ease on out here. Ease on out. Trying to pick a path. These Knights paying attention to those guys. I ran right by him. Another Knight's going to spawn right up here. I'm going to run right by him. And we're getting up close to the Mad Ghost Dash. Alright, now we got another little battle going on here between elites and Knights and 1 turret. And as soon as I hear that turret fire up, I'm going to take off. Alright, just run here. Gonna run by this elite. Whoa! Yowza with the binary rifle elite. Okay, but I ran by him. He did not try to nail me from behind. Go ahead and activate the switches and skip the cutscene, which is what I just did. Now we're on to the Mad Dash at the end. Now the one thing I found with this Ghost Dash is that all the falling rocks and dropping cave roofs and stuff like that are timed for when you take your hand off the boost. In other words, off the left trigger on the Ghost. As soon as you slow down and gain control, you're kind of screwed because that's when everything kind of drops on you. And the way to bypass that without having to stay at full boost all the time is to just pump the left trigger when you want to gain or regain control of your Ghost. And there's several places here, like right here, I'm just kind of pumping the trigger a little bit. And then back on full boost. Now, obviously you want to go full boost across the gaps, chasms, if you will. But here I'm pumping the trigger a little bit, and back to full boost to get across the chasm. And so on and so forth. Full boost across here. And by doing that, the game thinks that you're constantly at full boost, which is what you want the game to think. Again, once you go off boost to stay off boost, and that's when everything starts to fall on top of you. Okay, here's a spot here where you got to do kind of like an S turn, and I'm pumping the trigger right now. And as soon as I gain control and get to the second part of the S, I go back to full boost across the chasm. And now I'm kind of pumping the trigger through this cave area here so I don't lose control of the ghost. Notice I'm slowing down, but again, the game thinks I'm at full boost, and I make it through without too much difficulty. Okay, now pumping the trigger again so that I have a reasonable landing here. Full boost across the chasm, pumping the trigger again, pumping the trigger again. Okay, let's go to the left here because that's a better route to take. And we're coming into the, oh, almost lost it. Again, I'm pumping the trigger to regain control. And notice that nothing's falling on top of my head. I'm making it through okay, but I'm not at full boost all the time. Okay, we're getting close to the end here. Pumping the trigger to get control around the curve. And this should do it here. Alright, I'm trying to pull the nose up a little bit by holding the jump key down, and then up and across. And that's it. That's the Prediction Pain Challenge on the Forerunner mission. I'll go ahead and skip the cutscene again. If you do this first, you'll get both challenges. But I hope this helps you in your quest for the weekly campaign challenges of Prediction Pain. This is Old Anaki signing off. Take care, everybody.